And thank you everyone for joining us. And thank you, Fena, Ira, Winda, for coordinating and organizing this. I'm just so super grateful for all of you. And I'd love to have your questions on anything that you have around the entity world.
Mama, log in out. Come first.
Chandan.
Fena, I think you're muted, honey.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
Chandana, can you
Yes.
share to us what is entities that you're talking about?
Yeah, such a brilliant question. I love that because that's just exactly the space that, people come from a point of view of what entities are. And for everybody, entities means just a disembodied. Entities means ghosts, entities means spirits, entities means the, the bad, 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 dark world, the spirit world, which is so dark and which is so bad and which is just an area of your life where you'd never want to go to because it's been judged so much that it's been excluded out of your receiving. And in actuality, Fena, it's like the entity world is really, the entities are anything that can be defined, any energy that can be defined. And if you've been on any of my calls before, you would have heard me say this a million times. Because I don't find it's just, this just makes it so clear, any energy that you can define is an entity. Okay. So when you look at it that way, you being you, when you define you as who you be, what you be, you're an entity too, as is the table, as is the laptop that you may be on right now, as is the disembodied that we call the ghosts and spirits. But it's just in this reality, we look at the entity world as just the disembodied, which is such a limitation because truly there's so much more. There's so much more to that. And also, when we look at the disembodied, we look at generally the ghosts, so to say, as those people who've given up their bodies. But then, even in the spirit world, in the entity world, there's so much more. They're the beings of light. There are your teammates. There are the nature spirits. And, so much more that are here to contribute to you. The natives, the land, the aboriginals, there's just so much. And but in this reality, we lump them all together and we put them into ghosts and spirits, the dark, the bad, the dark world, which is a massive exclusion and a separation. So did that clarify um, what entities are really, Fena? And something that I would really like to add here, it just might contribute. Um, it's a lot like, when you look at when you look at um bacteria, right? There's such a variety of bacteria in the world, and everything that you eat, the bacteria that you eat, creates your body. Similarly, bacteria is the points of views that you have about the entity world. So the bacteria that you have is the points of views, and whatever your points of views are is what the entity world will show up as for you. Because your points of views create your reality also with the entity world.
Okay, so we have a lot of point of views about the entities is scary, and then we glimpse about entities and black magic, something like that. Can you share or clearing
Yeah.
something for us, please?
Yeah, sure, honey. So I know that's exactly where the fear comes from, that everything to do with the entity world is to do with black magic, which is such a lie. Black magic is black magic. And people who do black magic are not kind. They come from a space of extreme exclusivity. They come from a space of meanness, separation, where they are using the entity world for self-interest. They're using the entity world for themselves, and in the bargain they hurt somebody or they just want to destroy somebody. That's not that's not the way talk to the entities really, deals with the entity world. In fact, to be to just sit in class, to just sit in a talk to the entities class. And I am right now having a talk to the entities class, and yesterday we had one of the most melty classes, and I know Ula's here too, who was in class. And and it just shifted so much for us, because the space that gets created, is so much of kindness, and the kindness that you be is your willingness to facilitate them. It's not, we are not here to tell you that the entity world is bad, or the entity world is terrible and you are greater than them. It's here, we are giving you the tools to offer. Either you clear them, which is with the really simple clearing, like entities: truth, who are you? Truth, who are you? Truth, who were you before that? Truth, who were you before that? And truth, who will you be in the future? You can take all your baggage, all your luggage, and all your magnetic imprinting with you, and you may all leave now. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pot, call 9 shots, boys and beyonds. That is the clearing, the basic clearing of the entities, right? Of talk to the entities. After clearing, we have communication, which is just so simple. It's not like you need a candle and you need the lights off and you need a photograph and you need all that dramatic stuff to it. Actually, it's really simple, and some may even call it boring because it's just so quick and so easy. And it's pretty much like you would communicate with a being with a body. And when you communicate with them, so many of them don't even know that they don't have a body, Fena. So many of them are stuck in this reality without the knowing that they don't have a body anymore. They may be stuck in PTSD. They may have died in coma. They might have had a sudden death, and they're stuck in this reality, not knowing that they have choice. And when you just ask them, hey, do you know you don't have a body anymore? Just that is enough to clear them. They're like, what? I don't have a body? And some of them are stuck in, 1,000 years back. They're still stuck. And you're asking that question and setting them free, showing them that they have choice, that they can go to the light, they can go to another dimension, or they can just go get another body. I mean, how kind is that? It's not that you're making them wrong for being here, or you're not judging them to be stupid for being here, but you're really showing them that, hey, guy, you may be stuck where you are. And do you know that you have choice? And what would you like to choose? And honoring that choice, which is such a space of true kindness, true kindness. And for me, really, like I was talking with you, Fena, and with Ira and Winda last night, and we were talking about how Talk to the Entities is one of the most kindest classes that I have ever attended. And it brings you into a space of acknowledging every molecule on the planet. It brings you into the space of true embodiment. Because what is embodiment? Embodiment is inclusion, and it's not just about including the good. It's about including what you have judged as the bad too. So when we look at black magic, it's a totally different ball game. It's a totally different ball game, and it comes from the space of need. It comes from the space of meanness. It comes from the space of lack. It comes from the space of believing that you are finite and you need entities. In fact, this class gets you into a space of where you choose to be the dominant entity, and you recognize that you are not at the effect of the entity world. You are not at the effect of the good and the bad and the ugly, but you have choice with it all. Am I talking too much? Just wondering.
I love this.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Sandana. So I'm interesting. First, you take the and talk to entities class. So what make you choose that class, and what happened next?
Yeah, thanks, Fena. Oh my God, I've been in Access for almost 7 years now and doing all different classes. Became a CF almost 5 years back, and I've been wanting to, I was like, I thought I was not coming from a point of view, but now I see I was coming from quite a point of view that I would facilitate the right classes, the money classes, the relationship classes, the body classes, but talk to the entities, no, not so crazy, not going there. It was quite The big alarm which would go off on my head. No, 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 you're not facilitating that class. And, people would call me and they would tell me, do you facilitate talk to the entities? And I would say, no. Could you become a facilitator? I would say, no. I can suggest some wonderful facilitators of talk to the entities and please go to them because I'm not becoming one. And it was really funny because I had this foundation class and there were these, at that time it used to be live and things were normal. And, there were these wonderful people sitting in Delhi. And two of them said, we want to do the talk to the entities class with you. I said, sorry, honey, I don't facilitate, but I'll put you onto somebody. And they said, no, we want to do it with you. I said, well, in that case, you don't get to do it because I'm not becoming one. And, I came home and after class, it was so funny because my body, once again, and for all of you who don't know, and who've been here maybe the first time and we're getting to talk to each other the first time. I had something known as fibromyalgia for almost 19 years. And with the tools of access, I changed it. I got to acknowledge how aware my body is and how much of information my body gives me. And up until then, it was about awareness. And, many times what we do is we condition the awareness or we receive the awareness, we strain it like the good awareness and the bad awareness. And I don't want awareness of entities but I'll have awareness of money. But the good part of awareness is that you can't see it. You're either aware or you're not aware. So every time that I would say, no, I don't want to be aware of the entity world, I was actually using energy against me, against my body, which was hurting me, hurting my relationships, hurting my financial reality, hurting a lot of stuff. And I would not look at it as that. And I would say, I had this massive conclusion that I would not talk to the entities because I had a lot of points of views around that, around the entity world, And it was when I came back after the foundation class that my body went into a lot of intensity again. And I was like, but I changed this, how is it possible that this is again coming up? What am I choosing here? What am I choosing here? What am I resisting? What am I reacting to? And, I kept asking these questions. And up until then, I had signed up for the advanced talk to the entities. I had done the beginnings a number of times. And I lay down, I still remember lying on the sofa with my family, my husband and both my daughters were sitting there. And we were just talking and my husband said, you probably need to go to the doctor again because you're really in a bad way. And I said, yeah, I think I do need to because, I can barely move my body today. I'm in so much of pain. And so I called up my neurologist and I said, doc, I need to come and see you tomorrow. He said, okay, fine, come at 11. And I was really angry at myself because I knew I was choosing it. And I knew I could not blame anybody for that. And there was something that I was really resisting. And in that moment, I said to the universe, I said, universe, bring it on. Bring it on. Let me know. Show me. What am I resisting here? Show me what am I resisting with so much of a judgment of it that doesn't allow me to have the ease that's possible. I still remember lying on that sofa with the family and just asking that question in my mind. And I had my phone in my hand and just, how it is, most of us we go onto our phone, we click on Facebook and we just kind of scroll. So I just did that. I went onto Facebook and the first thing that came up was talk to the entities, facilitators. And I was like, really, universe? Like, really? And in that moment, I said, fine, I'm choosing it. And my world expanded. It went like literally that way. And I was like, wow, that was a lot of resistance, And I remember signing up in that moment, paying that night for the class, buying all the prereqs that I required in that moment. And the next, within a couple of hours, the pain was gone. It was just gone. I mean, if I say this, it sounds dramatic, it sounds like, really, that's just a story. But guys, it's not a story. It's the truth. I didn't go to the doctor the next morning. In fact, I had a class the next day, which I could facilitate. So, when you have a lot of resistance to something, it shows up as intensity. And that doesn't mean that you are all resisting this and, and so you must choose a class. No, it's not that. It's just that whatever you resist in your life that keeps popping on into your universe again and again, and you try to push it away from you. And the more you push it away from you, the louder the awareness. And that's when it starts to show up in the way it does. So this was like, what, 4 years, 5 years ago. And that's when I chose to be a facilitator of Talk to the Entities. Long story, right?
That's totally awesome. You ask the question and you get it. I cannot
Yeah.
imagine that the entities push you to be the facilitator for this of the entities class.
Yes, absolutely. The entities actually asked me, like, would you please do this? And it's amazing because whenever you allow your awareness to show up and you to receive that awareness, that truly is the space of receiving and relaxation. Because most of us are fighting, most of us are in conflict with the good and bad, and what greater way of looking at it than to look at the entity world, the spirit world, where we have so much of good and bad, so many points of views of demons being bad, certain entities being good, ancestors being good, but the evil entities and the bad entities, and all of that. And we are in constant conflict. Wherever we go into good and bad, we go into conflict. And if you are in conflict, that's what's going to show up as your reality. It may show up differently. It may show up in work. It may show up in relationships. It may show up with family. It may show up with your body. Where you're in conflict with your body, either trying to change your body shape or either trying to fight a disease, like I was trying to change fibromyalgia by fighting it, like, I got to change this, not from a question, but from conflict. And when you look at it and when you just let the conflict go and you let the fight go, the space that is available to you is that of relaxation. And that relaxation is a space of awareness and receiving. So would you all allow yourselves to relax into what you've always known with the entity world? And everywhere that you've used fear, points of views, and judgments to reject what you've known, could you destroy and uncreate that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, but parkle, 9 shots, poison beyonds. And now, what if you could just receive? Like, just receive. In this space of relaxation, what can your body receive? What can you receive that you haven't yet allowed yourself to receive? Just that. What if that's how easy inclusion is? What if that's how much of ease lies in inclusion? Yeah.
Chandraji, can you see the message once
Oh,
in chat?
yes, for sure. Sorry, I've just been talking so much. Oh, thank you, Renu. I love you, honey. You are the best too. Yes, I see I have a lot of direct messages. So one of them is, kindly inform what is the purpose of real demons come to earth and annoying people is also the extreme way crash human beings. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to take this question first, which is demons. Well, demons were brought to this planet. They didn't come here on their own. They were brought. They were brought from a different realm. So just the way you don't want them around, they don't want to be around either. So it's not like you're at the effect of the demons. Is that, I mean, how many of you have the capacity to truly facilitate them to go back, to leave? And what if the demons that are coming to you for facilitation? Besides the ones that are sent to you, of course, by some mean people. So the clearing that we do with the demons is, go back to from whence you came, never to return to me, my body, or this reality ever again. Go back to from whence you came, never to return to me, my body, or this reality ever again. Demons were brought to this planet, sweethearts. They didn't come here on their own. They're servants. They're serving the techie reality. They were brought here by the techies. And a lot more information in the class, but for you all to know that you are not at the effect of demons. If you believe, like I said, it's bacteria, and if you have the point of view that you are at the effect of demons, you will be. You will be. But if you start to recognize and acknowledge that you be the infinite being and that you cannot be at the effect of anything, including demons, can they really control you anymore? or is that just, are they just coming to you to show you your capacity? And would you be willing now to facilitate them? Because when you set them free, guess what? You get free too. Your body is lighter. The planet is lighter. But if you believe that they're here, like I said, if you believe that they're here to control you and to destroy you, you will create that for yourself. I hope that cleared it, sweetheart. And the next question, many people say that there is one female soul residing in my house from some old owners. Once I felt during Shraddha as if someone asked for something to eat. Yeah, so when you want to look at this question, all right. Someone said, so did you buy that point of view? Truth, yes or no? Is that your knowing, or is that you creating that as your reality? Everything that is, would you destroy and uncreate that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, but call 9 shots, boys and beyonds. And when somebody when they come to you and they ask for food, would a being need food? You're welcome, honey. And okay, this is to the previous question. She texted me saying thank you. So I said, you're welcome. Just for those who can't read the conversation. Okay, it's private, All right. So so when you look at the energy of when they ask for food, would a being need food? Or does it still believe that it has a body? Is it stuck and is it not aware that it doesn't have a body? What if you just saying, hey, hi, do you know you don't have a body anymore? Is all that's required, sweetheart. What if it's that easy? But are you willing to have it that easy? And everything that doesn't allow that, would you all destroy and uncreate that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, park, online shots, boys and beyonds. Yeah. I hope that clarified it for you, love.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, me too. Yes. So, do we have any more questions?
We have the top entities and money. So can you share a little, so what we can get, something like that?
Yes, for sure. So we have a specialty call coming up called Entities and Money, which is actually about, money in this reality is cash, but money actually is an energy, and you are an energy too. And the only thing that separates you from money, from the energy of money, is your points of views about money. Because money really has no points of views. It doesn't give a shit who receives it. Whether it goes to a beggar on the street or whether it goes to a smuggler across somewhere. It doesn't give a damn. It's like, hey, you're willing to receive me? I'll come to you. So when we have a conversation of entities and money, because entities too, like we said earlier, is an energy that can be defined. Money too is an energy that can be defined. And, where are you creating a separation of receiving from every entity on the planet, including your business, including your body, including your laptop, including disembodied beings and embodied beings. So this class is really about, receiving. It opens up your receiving, as does every Talk to the Entities beginning class. And the good thing about the specialty classes is it can also be an introduction to the beginnings that we have coming up too. I don't remember the dates, Fena. Would you remember the dates that we have? Or Ira, honey, if any of you remember the dates that we have for money and entities and for our beginning call?
Yeah, the beginning call is from the 23rd to the 29th of January, and
Awesome.
the entities
Yes.
and money is on the 20th of January.
Wonderful. Awesome. Thank you, darling. Thank you, love. We can put in the graphic here if you all want to keep it and save it, or, if you'd like to join us, that would be wonderful. We will have some fun together. And what gets created is ease. So only if you would like ease, and maybe not. Yeah. Do we have any more questions on the entity world? Or are we good for today?
Maybe I
Yes.
Many times it said that Pitru Dosh is there. So this is also related to identity.
Pitradosh is something that, is your father's sins will visit you, right? That's a lot of, if you see that, if you hear that your father's sins will visit you, or Pitradosh, does that make you, does that, does that make you light or does it make you heavy?
Mhm. Didn't give a thought to this.
Yeah, but what if you look at it, honey, and ask, is this true for me? I mean, a lot of these points of views also were put on you so they could control you. Get you. Yeah, it's heavy, right? So they get you to do what is right. A lot of rightness and wrongness comes from a lot of these points of views come from putting fear in you, instilling fear in you, and thank you for bringing up this energy, Neetu, because this is where fear was instilled in you towards the entity world, towards the spirit kingdom. And it's like, instead of asking a question as to what do I know, there was so much fear put into you, even, and not just from this lifetime, probably from so many lifetimes that you've been carrying into this lifetime too, that sometimes you're like, why am I so scared, or why do I resist it? Everywhere you resist it, everywhere you ignore it, everywhere you put your barriers up, all of that is you're not willing to ask a question. So when we look at stuff like this and we don't ask, is this true for me or is it a lie? We're actually buying that as a lie to instill the fear in us and to operate from guilt. Because what do distractor implants do? For all of you who've done the foundation here, what do distractor implants do? They instill a lot of guilt in you. They instill a lot of, they hold you back. They distract. The only purpose of distractor implants is so you don't make a different choice. So you stay stuck where you are, and guilt is one of the big ones. Fear is one of the big ones. Blame and shame is one of the big ones that holds you back, especially with the entity world. And where you do have the capacity, to maybe, you see something from the corner of your eye and you turn and you say, oh, there's nothing. I must be imagining. I can't say this to anybody because people will think I'm crazy. So, you make your awareness wrong and you go into guilt of having that awareness, where it's actually a capacity. And everywhere that you shut down your capacity, your potency, it shows up in a way that's not really contributing to you and your reality. Like I did for so long, I kept pushing it away, ignoring it, pushing it away. It didn't show up as a contribution to me and my body. Thank you for your red heart. Yay! Hula. So everywhere that you resist, react, ignore, that's really a massive coping mechanism that you're using with the entity world, instead of putting your barriers down and asking a question like, is this true for me? Or am I using the lies that were told to me that has me being implanted with the fear, with the guilt, with the blame and the shame, that doesn't allow me to claim, own, and acknowledge my potency? And everything that is, would you all destroy and uncreate that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, call 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Thank you for your question, honey. Me too. I hope that contributed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we're done. Looks like we're done for today. And
Thank you so much, Chandana.
you're welcome, love. And consider yourselves all warmly invited to the Talk to the Entities beginning and to the Talk to the Entities, the Entity and Money call. Choose one, choose both, or choose none. I love you guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank
It
you
was
so
amazing
much.
invitation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Very
lovely.
and there is a space. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.